so glad you tuned in today because we're going to look at the 27 acupuncture points of the kidney channel. I'm also going to look at the meridian pathway and function. And with each point, we'll try to differentiate them all so we don't get confused thinking that they all have similar function. How do I know which one to use? So we're going to look at each point's location, function, and points combos from my clinical pearls that I think are very useful in clinical practice and you can use too on your patients. And stay till the end because I'm going to share a great points combo for menopause that you can use on every menopausal woman patient. Oh yeah, baby. Let's do this. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, I'm Clara from AcuPro Academy, and I create Chinese medicine and acupuncture content for students and practitioners, making it easy to grasp and fun to learn. Let's go. I'm not finished. Well, I'm not quite finished. I was born premature, 10 weeks premature to be exact, which is a lot, which means I was missing 10 weeks. And usually for a baby to be fully grown, it's 37 weeks of pregnancy. My mom had me coming out at 30 weeks, which was very early. And I think the reason was that as a French woman, she smoked 2 packs of cigarette a day. So I think that I just wanted to get out of there and breathe better. So when I was born, I couldn't breathe, of course, and I was put in an incubator because my lungs were not developed completely. I had asthma as a child. My teeth didn't grow straight. I was sick all the time. I didn't get hair on my head until I was 2 years old. Wow, my mom was freaking out. She kept putting hat on my head so people wouldn't see that I didn't have hair. And I didn't start walking until I was 18 months old. Well, this leads me to what the kidney function is according to Chinese medicine. Now, I'm going to call this the kidney system, not the kidney organ, even though it's part of the Zhongfu organ system. Because if we say organ, we think our kidneys that are sitting in the back, and we think of the organ itself only. However, the kidney system in TCM encompasses the meridian, the energetic of the emotions of the organ as well, and everything that aligns with the kidneys in TCM. So I like to call it the kidney system. It's always good to go back to foundation in order to understand what we're going to talk about today and to really grasp each point's function and why we are using them in clinical practice in that way. So let's go back to foundation with the TCM kidney system or organs function. The first thing I think about when I think of the TCM kidneys is the aging system, because the kidneys store essence. And in turn, their function or their main function is to be in charge of growth, development, conception, reproduction, and hence aging, which makes sense. So when I told you about my story, my development was slow. It took me a while to start walking. It took me a while to get hair on my head, to develop my lungs, because again, I was premature. So I had a lot of more work to do eventually. So I always say, I wasn't finished. Imagine if I had 10 more weeks in the womb. I would blow your mind. So here it is. The kidney main function is to be really connecting to our aging system, our essence. Makes sense, right? It's also in charge of filling up the brain, controlling the spine and the bones, and filling up marrow. So really in charge of everything that's connected to essence, because our marrow is really vital for us, our spine, our bones, super, super important, connected to essence. Our teeth in TCM is part of bones as well. So if we grow up with not straight teeth, that means our essence is not as strong as someone that has perfect teeth when they grew up. The next function is the kidneys are in charge of opening and closing the lower gates. The lower gates are the urethra, the vagina, the anal area, and the spermatic duct. So those 4, if there is leakage happening, we have to look at, is kidney chi not strong enough to closing the lower gate and reopen it when we need it, let's say for urination. So when there is incontinence, for example, with urine, it's either a spleen chi sinking because the bladder has dropped and there may be prolapse, or it's a kidney chi not able to controlling the opening and closing of the lower gate, in this instance, the urethra. The next function is the kidney opens into the ears. So if we have tinnitus, specifically long-standing, constant low-pitched tinnitus, we have to look at what's going on with the TCM kidneys. The kidneys also manifest on the hair of the head, just like when I didn't grow hair when I was younger. Look at me now. I have a lot of thick hair. This has changed because of outside factors like diet and lifestyle. So the kidneys and the hair connection is really useful in clinical practice for aging. If someone has gray hair by the time they turn 24, then we know their essence or kidney essence is not as strong as someone that turns gray at 65. Also for men receding or losing hair very early in age, that is a kidney chi or essence deficiency compared to a man who would lose his hair when he's like 65 to 70. Another function of the kidney is it's governing water. So it's in charge of water metabolism, specifically in the lower jaw and the lower body. So if we see edema of the ankles, that's a kidney chi that is not properly metabolizing water. The next function of the kidney is that it's related to fear, phobia, and the willpower. So strong will means strong kidneys. Let's start by looking at the kidney channel. It is a foot meridian because it starts at the foot, like every meridian. Either it starts or finish at the foot is a foot meridian, starts or finish at the hand is a hand meridian. So the kidney is a foot Shao Yin meridian. Shao Yin means lesser yin. There are two Shao Yin meridian, the heart, which is the hand Shao Yin, and the kidney, which is the foot Shao Yin. What's really interesting about those two is the Shao Yin meridians, kidney and heart, have the least amount of blood and the least amount of qi, compared to the Yangming meridians, large intestine and stomach, which have the most qi and the most blood. So what does that mean when they have the least amount of qi and the least amount of blood? It means that when we're trying to treat patterns that are affecting the TCM heart or the TCM kidney, it takes a little bit more time. We are going to use heart point and kidney points to address their problem, but it's going to take more time because if there are in TCM patterns of the heart and kidney, it means that it's chronic and it's been there for a long time because the kidneys is the root of who we are and the heart is the mind, the shen, the spirit. Fire and water, opposite, they work really well together, but it takes time to support the body, to manage the problem, and to help each patient self-regulate when it's affecting either the TCM heart or the TCM kidneys. That's why we look at it from that perspective of least amount of qi, least amount of blood. But they're powerful points. They just take a little bit more time and more sessions. The kidneys are mostly activated between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. This is when we're supposed to reconnect with our family. Remember, the kidneys is in charge of reproductive system, of growing, of aging, of our conception. So it's a family unit. So 5 to 7 p.m. is when we're supposed to reconnect with our loved one. Have dinner, take time to really chat about our day and connect, which often the family unit is running around, going to soccer practice or ballet practice. Often it's rushed and it's not taking the time to connect with the family. Now let's look at the pathway of the kidney channel. The bladder meridian finished at bladder 67 at the end of the fifth toe. So the kidney channel actually starts at the end of the fifth toe. Then it goes down and underneath the sole to connect with kidney 1. It comes right back up and goes on the medial aspect of the foot, which will go and wrap around the ankle, right? We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that will wrap around the ankle, going up on the medial aspect of the lower leg with kidney 7, kidney 8, kidney 9, all the way to the knee with kidney 10. So it's going all along the medial aspect of the leg, more posterior because liver and spleen are more anterior to the kidney channel at that stage. Then the meridian will continue to ascend all the way to the lower spine. That's the connection to the lower spine, to essence, to anything that's related to the extra vessels, because the extra vessels are connected to essence. That's how we tap into it. So the kidney meridian continues to go all the way up and enters the body at the lower spine to connect with the kidney organs and goes down to connect to the bladder organ, its counterpart, yin-yang counterpart, right? From there, it emerges back out and it will ascend along the abdominal region all the way to the chest, all the way to the lower part of the clavicle. This is where all the points are from kidney 11 all the way to kidney 27. Yes? And of course, it's bilateral. I just put it here on my beautiful drawing. Do you like my drawing? I'm not a very good drawer, but it illustrates the point, and that's the idea behind it. So then, because we always have branches when it comes to pathway of meridian, most of them have branches. There is a branch that is starting at the kidney organ that will go up through the liver, the diaphragm, the lung, the throat, and finish at the root of the tongue. Okay, so that's one branch. The second branch starts at the lung organ, goes to the heart, wraps around the heart, and connect to the pericardium, which is the next meridian in the cyclical flow of qi. Yes? Pretty good, right? So this is how we look at the meridian pathway. It's pretty simple. It starts at bladder 67, goes to kidney 1 underneath the sole, goes around the ankle, all along the medial aspect of the lower leg to the knee, goes up and goes to the lower spine, enters the body, connects with the kidney and the bladder. Then there's a branch from the kidney that will go up through the liver, the lung, the throat, and the back of the root of the tongue. And then the last branch starts at the lung and connects to the pericardium by wrapping around the heart. See how the kidney connects to a lot of the organs, the liver, the lung, the diaphragm as well for breathing, the heart, the pericardium, and the throat and the root of the tongue, which really connects to spleen and stomach, because this is where the digestion starts, at the back of the mouth. Isn't that amazing? The kidney is such a powerful organ system that can be utilized in clinical practice to really support our essence, aging system, growth, reproduction. Its function as a whole is going to cover mental disorders, reproductive system issues, of course, but also urinary tract and bladder issue because of its connection to the bladder, and anything happening along the meridian, which goes for all meridians. And now let's start looking at the points. I don't know if you know, but I started the hashtag Acupuncture Rocks years ago when I first started making cute little videos on YouTube, and it's been a journey. And I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support. So many of you have been here with me for many years, supporting me and spreading the word about Chinese medicine. So if you think this video can be useful to somebody else, please share it. This is how we tell the world about our amazing, amazing Chinese medicine. So let's start with the location of kidney 1. It's underneath the sole, which is not an easy point to needle. That's why doing moxa is often much more easier for patients because, yikes, there's a lot of nerve ending on the sole, and it can be really, really powerful for a lot of patients. And I have one of my patients that loved this point. The first time I did this point on him, boy, oh boy, he was pretty surprised. Even though I told him, this is a very powerful point, he's like, no, I want to try it. And he absolutely benefit from it. And we're going to talk about the function in a minute. But first of all, let's look at its location, which is really on the sole of the foot. If you look at the sole, you divide this in 3 parts. And kidney 1 is on the upper third part, right between the second and the third metatarsal. And usually when I needle it, I needle towards liver 3. That is oblique and towards liver 3 to connect with liver 3. It's a perfect way to use kidney 1. Kidney 2 is located on the lower border of the navicular bone, which often is mistaken for spleen 4. So we really want to find that navicular bone, which is kind of protruding for a lot of people, and just go inferior to it. Kidney 3 is really important to locate properly because all the points that are around it are going to be depending on where kidney 3 is. So kidney 3 is located halfway between the Achilles tendons and the prominence of the medial malleolus. Kidney 4 is half at soon posterior and inferior to kidney 3. Remember, from kidney 3 or from the prominence of the medial malleolus to the bottom of the foot or the sole is 3 tsun. So we want to divide this by third, and this is how we can find kidney 4 and kidney 5. Kidney 5 is directly 1 tsun below kidney 3. It's that 1/3 that we can divide between the malleolus and the bottom of the sole of the foot. Kidney 6 is 1 tsun directly the prominence of the medial malleolus, just between the 2 ligament bundles. Kidney 7 is easy. It's just Tutsun directly above kidney 3. And kidney 8 is half a Tsun anterior to kidney 7. So Tutsun above the medial malleolus and half a Tsun anterior to kidney 7. And kidney 9 is 5 Tsun directly above kidney 3 on the line between kidney 3 and kidney 10. Kidney 10 is located in the back of the knee at the medial end of the popliteal crease between the two tendons, the semitendinosus and the semimembranosus of the tendon of the hamstring. Now let's look at kidney 1's function. I love kidney 1 because it's the most grounding point of them all. It's the only point that actually touches the ground, right? All the other points are above, but when we stand on our 2 feet, the highest point is due 20, the lowest point is kidney 1, and they actually work really well together, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, but the main function of kidney 1 is to bring that energy down, to calm the mind. So it can be used for insomnia, but specifically for all the scattered brain or the chatter we feel in our head and we just can't stop. When patients said, my head cannot stop, I feel like it's scattered, it's not grounded, plus it's constantly going. This really brings it down. And we can moxa if we don't want a needle. This is a perfect point for it. It's also used in conjunction with DO 20 when people are really tired, but they cannot fall asleep. This is the insomnia where you're exhausted, but you still can't fall asleep. Combine DO 20 with kidney 1, connect that top with the bottom to really get that energy up and the mind calm down. Perfect combo. Now, kidney 1 is also really good for night sweat and yin deficiency, but it's not the best point, so really utilize it to bring all that fire down if there's high blood pressure, for example. It's really good for that. Bring the energy down. That's what we want to use it for mostly. Kidney 2, I think, is not utilized a lot, but it's a yin spring point, which means it clears heat. It's great for coughing blood or diarrhea with blood in the stools. When there's that excess heat that's really affecting the lower jiao, that is a great point to use. Kidney 3 is probably one of the most kidney point that we use in clinical practice, along kidney 6, I would say. So kidney 3 is the best point to tonify kidney qi, specifically, and kidney yang. Now, both kidney 6 and kidney 3 tonify kidney yin and kidney yang, because if one is affected, the other one will be. But kidney 3 is stronger in tonifying kidney qi and kidney yang, while kidney 6 is stronger in tonifying or nourishing kidney yin, if you're going to choose between the two, right? So kidney 3 is great to strengthen the back. It's a strong point to keep our back straight. It's also used for fertility, specifically when there's yang deficiency, low libido. It's used for incontinence as well, when the kidney cannot close or open the lower gate and there's incontinence. Specifically also for bedwetting, for kids that have bedwetting, this is also a great point. Kidney 3 is a yuan source point of the kidneys, which means if there is any essence deficiency, we have to use this point. Yuan source go back to the source, to deep-seated issues. Like I had when I was born, kidney 3 is a great point for me, for example, right? And it's the shu stream of the kidney, which means it's really good for water metabolism as well. See how fantastic this point is? I think kidney 4 is underutilized in clinical practice. I love that point. First of all, it's a luo connecting point, which means it connects kidney to the bladder. If there is any bladder issue like incontinence or urine retention, the person's trying to pee but they can't, this is a really good point. We have to put the luo connecting point, kidney 4. The second most unbelievable function of kidney 4 and underutilized is for people that have phobia. When there are phobias, it doesn't matter what the phobia is about. It doesn't matter if it's rational or irrational. If there's a lot of fears and phobias, kidney 4 is the best point for that. So we have to use it in clinical practice. I love this point. Kidney 5 is the Shiklev point of the kidney. Remember, Shiklev points are connected to blood and pain. And kidney 5 is the best point along spleen 8, which is also a Shiklev point of the spleen, for menstruation cramps. When there is dysmenorrhea or painful menstruation, spleen 8 and kidney 5, best combo. Kidney 5's best function is for menstruation cramp, but also anything happening to the menstruation cycle, like irregular menstruation and prolapse of the uterus. It's really connected to the reproductive system, specifically the female reproductive system. Kidney 6, I think it's one of my favorite kidney points. I love kidney 6. It does tonify kidney yang and nourish kidney yin, just like kidney 3, but it's better in nourishing kidney yin. So it's great when there's night sweat and insomnia and feeling of yin deficiency, like red cheeks. Anything that's happening with yin deficiency, kidney 6 is a great point. Now, combining kidney 6 with long 7 really truly addresses reproductive system issues, specifically the female reproductive system. It can be used in pregnancy, menopause, and for menstruation cycle issues, anything. This is a great combo to use. Because long 7 is the confluent point of the Ren or the conception vessel, and kidney 6 is the confluential point of the Yin Shao vessel. This really connects to essence. Another purpose is because it's the confluential point of the Yin Shao vessel, which the Yin Shao and the Yang Shao are connected to sleep and being awake. Awake during the day, sleeping at night. Kidney 6 is a great point when there is insomnia, specifically with nightmares, or feeling hot at night, waking up, tossing and turning. This is a great point to add to heart 7 for insomnia. As we know, the kidneys are related to fear, and so kidney 6 is also a great point if there is long-standing anxiety, specifically if we combine it again with pericardium 6, which is the cover of the heart, or heart 7. That really connects well for anxiety. Of course, we want to make a TCM diagnosis, but this is a good base to start with. Are you enjoying my graphics so far? Well, they are all part of my AcuPoint Made Easy book. It ships all over the world. It is a fantastic resource for many people, and the feedback has been amazing. You also can have the digital version, which is exactly the same, but it also has video links to complement it. And you can download it on any device. If you haven't got your copy yet, what are you waiting for? Click the link below and get it today. Remember when we talked about the function of the kidneys, we said it was in charge of water metabolism. Well, here's the point that's connected to that. Kidney 7 is great when there is water metabolism issues. For example, in kidney yang deficiency, it can be used for edema of the ankles. And when there is night sweats due to yin deficiency, combine kidney 7 with heart 6, because heart in TCM controls sweat, and night sweat is a yin deficiency, and heart 6 is the best point for that, specifically combined with kidney 7. So kidney 7 is great when there's excess fluid or when we're pouring out fluids. We want to regulate the fluid in the body that is specifically affecting the kidneys. Kidney 7 is your go-to point. Kidney 8 is the Yin Shao Shi cleft point. So it's really good at balancing the Ren and the Chong, or harmonizing the conception vessel with the Chong vessel, which often is called the penetrating vessel, but I like to keep it Chinese because I think it's easier. The Ren and the Chong, this balancing very well, specifically for the woman reproductive system, like dysmenorrhea, uterus prolapse, irregular menstruation. It's a perfect point to use. But we can also use it for men. Oh my God, there's so many points for women. We gotta have some points for men, and kidney 10 is coming. You're gonna see that is a fantastic point for that. But when it comes to kidney 8, it's a really good point to use for men for pain and swelling of the testes, specifically if we combine it with liver 5. Kidney 9 is often referred to as the beautiful baby point. And I tell my patients I love to use this point because it's there to keep the pregnancy healthy. And the beautiful baby point means you're going to have a beautiful, healthy baby at the end, right? So I use it a lot in clinical practice on my pregnant patient to balance the Chong and the Ren vessels. Fantastic point. However, it also has a second function that is just perfect. It harmonizes heart and kidney, the two Shao Yin meridian, the opposite water and fire, the brain, the head, the shen, the spirit, and the body. So this is a really good point for manic depressive patients, for bipolar patients. It really connects the heart and the kidney back together. So it should be part of that treatment no matter what the diagnosis is when there is bipolar or manic depressive. And if you have a patient that's pregnant and has bipolar, this is definitely the point that has to be there during the whole pregnancy. Finally, an acupuncture point that is a little bit more geared towards the male patient, because we have so many So many points for female patients, as we know. Kidney 10 is great when there is erectile dysfunction, any issue with the male reproductive system, like prostate issue, we have to put kidney 10. It's also good for inguinal hernia, which men have tendency to have much more than women, and for painful urination, specifically also if there's a lot of urination due to hyperplasia of the prostate. Let's look now at the location of kidney 11. We're starting half a tsun from the midline below the belly button. Kidney 11 is half a tsun lateral to the midline, 5 tsun below. Kidney 12 is 4 tsun below. Kidney 13 is 3 tsun below. 14, 2 tsun below. 15, 1 tsun below. And 16 is at the level of the belly button, half a tsun lateral. All those points we have to remember are located between the belly button and the upper border of the pubic symphysis bone, which that is 5 tsun in distance. Let's look at the belly again. Now, we start with kidney 17 being 2 tsun above the navel, half a tsun lateral. Kidney 18 is 3 tsun above the navel, half a tsun lateral. 19 is 4 tsun, 20 is 5 tsun, and kidney 21 is 6 tsun above the belly button, half a tsun lateral to the midline. So it starts 2 tsun above. Remember that with kidney 17, and we go all the way to kidney 21. So when it comes to kidney 22 to kidney 27's location, we're going to use the length of the clavicle from the acromion to the midline, which is 8 tsun, right? So we start at kidney 22, which is on the 5th intercostal space, 2 tsun lateral, which means a quarter of the length of the clavicle. And then kidney 23 is on the 4th intercostal space. Kidney 24 is on the 3rd intercostal space. Kidney 25 is on the 2nd. Kidney 26 is on the 1st. And kidney 27 is on the lower border of the clavicle, 2 tsun lateral to the midline. Kidney 11 and kidney 12 are going to be great to regulate the lower jiao for external genitalia issue or menstruation issue, fertility, or urination. Those 2 points are perfect when there are a lot of lower jiao symptoms all at once. Kidney 13 and kidney 14 can be utilized for postpartum pain and fertility issue. I would say kidney 13 is better used for fertility issue, and kidney 14 is better used for postpartum pain. Kidney 15 can be used for large intestine issue like constipation or diarrhea, and it also balances the Chong and the Ren, but it's not the best point, so I'm going to really go quickly to the next one. Kidney 16 and kidney 17 can be used for abdominal issues, specifically large intestine and stomach issues that have been there for a long, long time. However, I would pick stomach point and spleen point before I use kidney point. Unless it's been so long standing since childhood, then adding kidney point is a great way to really support your treatment. Kidney 18 can be used for upper abdominal tract issues, specifically gallbladder stone pain, although I think gallbladder 24 is a better point, but also for postpartum pain, specifically upper abdominal pain in postpartum. So you can use kidney 14 for the lower part and kidney 18 for the upper part. Kidney 19, 20, and 21 are all around the stomach area, so they're going to complement Ren 12 or stomach 21 in addressing issue of the stomach like nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, indigestion. But again, I wouldn't use those unless we're really targeting that specific area for a lot of pain. I would use more stomach point and Ren 12. Kidney 22 is great when there is nausea, vomiting, but also difficulty in breathing. So that's a point that we can use when there's those two together at the same time. Basically, lung qi is rebelling and stomach qi is rebelling. They're going the wrong way. Kidney 22 could be a good point to use for that. Kidney 23, 24, 25, and 26 can all be put together in the same basket because they all address lung issues like asthma and wheezing or coughing, chronic cough specifically. We do not want to create pneumothorax, so it's really important to do shallow insertion that is oblique, or for some people that are very thin body, even transverse. That's a good reminder. Kidney 27, I think, again, just like kidney 4 a little bit, is underutilized in clinical practice. I use this point all the time for morning sickness during pregnancy, combined with pericardium 6 and stomach 40. That is the best combo because it's a really good point to calm that nausea or vomiting during pregnancy. Because remember, the kidney is always related to the reproductive system. The other function that kidney 27 is fantastic for is for grieving. sadness, depression. So kidney 27 I use when patients have lost a loved one. My dog's sitting on the floor right now and he just sighed. I don't know if you heard that, but he went, just when I was talking about breathing. It's just perfect. Boomer. He's so cute. You're gonna love the dog. It's so soothing to me when he's at my feet while I'm recording this. So let's recap the best function of each of the kidney point. Kidney 1, scattered thought, grounding you. Kidney 2, clears heat. Kidney 3, nourishes and tonifies kidney yang. Kidney 4, great for fear, phobia, luo connecting point to the bladder for bladder or urine retention or incontinence. Kidney 5, Shi cleft point, so great combined with spleen 8, for example, for dysmenorrhea or menstruation cramp. Kidney 6, best point to nourish kidney yin. Kidney 7, great to regulate the water for sweating, for edema, all this water metabolism that the kidney is in charge. Kidney 8, balances the Chong and the Ren. Kidney 9, the beautiful baby point that is also great for bipolar. Kidney 10, great Rossi point for male reproductive system issue like prostate issue or erectile dysfunction. Kidney 11 and 12 are going to be used for the lower jiao issue. 13 and 14, 13 more for fertility issue and 14 for postpartum pain. 15 is going to be used mostly for large intestine issue, 16 and 17 mostly as well. 18, 19, 20, 21, upper digestive tract issue like gallbladder stone or postpartum pain for kidney 18 or digestive issues, specifically stomach issue. Kidney 22 is great for lung qi rebelling and stomach qi rebelling at the same time, which means nausea, vomiting with coughing. Kidney 23, 24, 25, 26, all for lung issue, chronic cough, wheezing, asthma. And kidney 27, best point for morning sickness during pregnancy, specifically combined with PC6 and stomach 40, and for grieving, sadness, and depression. See how fast we can look at them in the best light, best function possible? Now, when we first started, I was talking about giving you a protocol that is simple but effective for menopause. When it comes to menopause, TCM looks at it from a kidney yin and kidney yang slowly declining. So, of course, you want to make a TCM diagnosis, but the following point should always be part of your menopausal patient's protocol. Kidney 3, kidney 6, because they both tonify and nourish kidney yin and kidney yang. Kidney 7 and heart 6 if there's night sweat. Heart 7 because in menopause, often there is poor memory, insomnia, and anxiety. And stomach 40 because most menopausal women cannot focus and feel very foggy. Now, if there's fatigue on top of it, you could add up spleen 6, Ren 6, and do 20 to lift the energy. And if there's a lot of scattered thoughts and really feeling like the brain can't shut down, kidney 1. This is a basic menopause protocol. Make sure to make a diagnosis, but utilize those points because they're fantastic and they work really well in clinical practice. I've seen it because I've had lots of menopausal women over the years. I hope you truly benefited from this video. Make sure you watch the other videos related to this one in the playlist of all the acupuncture points, function, and locations. And no matter what, keep rocking it using TCM.